What did you do last night? You probably scrolled through something, watched a show you only half followed, fell asleep to light. Most people do. But for 99% of human history, the night looked completely different. And what ancient humans did at night is not a historical curiosity. It is the story of what we stopped doing, and what we may have lost when we did. For most of human existence, the night began at sundown. Not with the dimming of screens, but with the sudden extinguishing of the world. Total darkness, until fire. The discovery of controlled fire, some 300,000 to 400,000 years ago, didn't just warm bodies, it extended the human day. For the first time in the history of any animal, humans had social hours after sunset. Hours no other creature had. And what they did with those hours shaped what humans would become. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent decades studying the Juhonsi people of the Kalahari, one of the last surviving hunter-gatherer societies. She recorded what they talked about during the day, and then she recorded what they talked about at night. The difference was stark. During the day, food, work, complaints, practical decisions. At night, by firelight, stories. 80% of nighttime conversations involved narrative, stories about people, journeys, spirits, mistakes, dreams. The fire circle wasn't just warmth, it was the original storytelling space, the place where a group of people became a culture. These weren't stories for entertainment, they were identity transmission. Through fire stories, children learned who their people were, what they valued, what they feared, what was sacred. Stories passed down how to behave with enemies, how to mourn, how to love well. The night was the school no one built, because it built itself every evening around every fire. But the night didn't just mean storytelling, it also meant sleep, and sleep was different too. Sleep researcher Jerome Siegel studied 3 hunter-gatherer groups across multiple continents. What he found challenged everything the modern world assumes about sleep. These communities didn't go to sleep at dark. They stayed up 3 to 4 hours after sunset, in social time. And they didn't sleep for 8 straight hours. They slept in 2 separate segments. A first sleep, a waking period of 1 to 2 hours in the middle of the night. Then a second sleep until dawn. This was not insomnia. This was the natural human sleep pattern. Historian Roger E. Kirch found the same pattern in European historical documents from before electric lighting. People called it first sleep and second sleep. The waking period in between was used for prayer, reflection, conversation, and intimacy. Not productivity, not stimulation, just quiet wakefulness in the dark. Here is where it gets harder to sit with. Electric lighting arrived roughly 150 years ago. For 300,000 years before that, the human body received a clear signal every evening. The light is fading, the day is ending. The brain prepared for rest. Cortisol dropped, body temperature fell. The night began. Artificial light changed this signal permanently. Blue wavelengths in modern light, especially screens, suppress melatonin for hours after sunset. Your brain, in its ancient architecture, thinks it is still afternoon. The night your brain was designed for is no longer the night you live in. But the biological disruption is only part of it. The deeper change was social. The fire circle disappeared. Not suddenly. Over decades, the architecture of the night shifted. Families moved from shared fire spaces to separate private rooms. Stories moved from spoken to broadcasted. Communal darkness became private screens. And something that had happened every night for 300,000 years, humans sitting together in the dark, telling each other who they were, quietly stopped. This is what the data actually shows. The night was not just for rest, it was for repair, social repair. The stories told at night resolved conflicts, clarified values, rehearsed identities. They created the psychological cohesion that allowed a group of humans to function the next day. Storytelling, it turns out, is not a luxury, it is maintenance. You are not broken for feeling something is missing at night. You are not broken for finding the scroll unsatisfying. You are not broken for waking in the middle of the night and not knowing what to do with the silence. Your brain is looking for the fire circle. It has been looking for it every night since electric light made it invisible. The question is not, how do I sleep better? The question is, what does the night ask of me that I'm no longer giving it? What ancient humans understood, without any theory of psychology, is that the night is not the absence of day. It is a different kind of presence, a time the brain makes meaning, not plans. A time the body heals, not performs. A time the self integrates, not achieves. You don't have to rebuild the fire circle, but you might ask what your nights are actually for. Not what they produce, not how efficiently you sleep, but what your night is, and whether the human part of you that still expects to end the day together has any place left to go. Ancient humans ended every day with fire, with stories, with each other. The night was when they were most human. It still is. We just forgot how to use it.